Hi there, Scorpios. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Astrogirl. We're looking at April 11 through April 17. And the big news this week is Mars. Now, of course, Mars is your co-ruler. Mars rules Aries, and it co-rules you, meaning that you're ruled by two signs, Pluto and, of course, Mars is your co-ruler. So you're lucky you. Now, for those of you who are, under the gun financially and worried about money, Mars is going to retrograde in your second house of self-esteem and self-worth and money. And it's really important that you calm down and don't take everything on financially, especially when it means that you're going to come up short or overdrawn or anything like that. It's really important that you try to stay in black and not go into that red zone while Mars is retrograde, because when Mars is retrograde, it kind of takes the steam out of pretty much everything, and because it's in your second house, it could take the steam out of your money flow and mean that you've got to really slow down, think before you buy, to keep a budget and be less generous and a bit more, no, I can't afford to do that, or I just can't see that happening. People ask you to go on expensive dinners or put in for something, and, learning to say, no, I can't afford it. It's a horrible thing to have to say and admit, but it could very well be the truth. So slow down, review your past actions, and be careful, Scorpios. Adjust your expectations to reflect your energy levels. So don't try doing things that you're just simply not going to be able to finish, whether it's a marathon or a movie. Sometimes we push ourselves too hard to keep up with everybody, and that's part of the self-esteem thing. But it's also like, why do you have to push yourself to prove yourself? That doesn't seem, you're not, unless you are running a marathon or running for president or running for prime minister or whatever, you really have to keep pushing. In normal day life and in normal pedestrian life, something's too hard, it often means it's not meant to be. If something or someone is putting up way too many tests and barriers, sometimes it's a good idea to ask yourself, but is it worth it? Maybe I'm barking up the wrong tree or trying for something that it's never going to embrace me, and have a plan B, have a plan C. I think a lot of people go through life without a plan B or C and end up bitterly disappointed, whether you want to be a ballerina, whether you want to be a rock star, a model, an actor. Not everyone can, those dreams don't come true for most people, and I see it all the time living in Los Angeles. There are so many people here trying to get into acting and trying to be the next Emma Watson or Julia Roberts or Nicole Kidman or George Clooney or Leonardo. And, there's only so many slots. It's like trying to be an AFL footballer. So this Mars energy is exactly like that. That's the energy that Mars predicts. A lot of sports athletes have a strong Mars because that's the planet of passion and keeps people motivated. So keep that in mind this week, and I'll tell you more that Mercury is going out of phase in your relationship zone April 28th. So we'll focus on that more next week. Thanks so much for tuning in. I look forward to speaking to you again next week, Scorpios.